Alright boys, don't need too much time to prepare today. Unfortunately, the market hasn't moved. So, yeah, literally. We're talking, 10 points higher for the Aussie, 10 points higher for the Euro, flat for the pound. Okay, 20 points lower for the dollar yen. But literally, apart from slight US dollar weakness, we got almost no movement overnight. And there's almost nothing to report. Like it is one of them days where you're like, wow, could have missed yesterday and nothing happened. Okay, Bitcoin does not count, sir. Thank you for letting us know, Stampole. Bitcoin is on a rally. Okay, Bitcoin's. I'm not sure what the latest news is to cause the rally, but yeah, it's definitely been some big moves in the last couple of days since the open on the weekend. Gap higher, I believe. I think it's 20% higher on the week. If that number he just posted, 3,500, is true. Wow. I remember it was only a little while ago that it was the same price as gold, and everyone's like, wow, it's taking off, and now it's triple that. I still believe it's relatively pyramid scheming in the sense that because it hasn't got much utility function yet, people are speculating on its value. So the ability for buyers to come in and keep buying on dips is the belief that the rally is going to continue to go higher. Right? It's not because it has an intrinsic value as an alternative currency. Its danger is in the fact that people stop believing it has value. It's much easier for people to stop believing it has value than for a traditional currency, which is backed by government, backed by army, in some cases backed by gold, but not much is backed by gold anymore. But with Bitcoin, you've got sort of a artificial market where not much is being spent. So transacted, yeah, there's a lot of turnover, but there's not much in terms of how to value it apart from the speculative value. So it's a speculation play, and the speculation plays have wild changes in the valuations. So what would be the biggest threat to Bitcoin, in my opinion? The biggest threat is that Ripple, which is a new sort of blockchain technology backed by banks, becomes the standard, and then all of a sudden there's thousands of these cryptocurrencies, and then all of a sudden Bitcoin becomes a failed cryptocurrency, and then there's literally no speculators left in it. Okay. So it is really, this is the case with all forms of money. It can become worthless, whether it's by hyperinflation or that government that published the money just ceased to exist. War, say, in Africa, that happens all the time. So, you got this, definitely got issues where, in the fledgling state, where Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is just coming to being, you're not sure which one's going to be the survivor. Now, Bitcoin does have huge advantages as the first mover, and probably if I had to bet on one doing okay, it's Bitcoin. But then it also has to become more widely used. Then it's safe. Once it's got value, perceived value, and you will see Bitcoin, maybe stabilize and become a little bit more settled down when it reaches something of a usable, tangible sort of exchange medium. But yeah, it's still dangerous, still extremely dangerous. Literally, you can halve your, you can't really trade it on leverage from what I know, and you can literally halve in a night. So that's what you have to worry about when you go to bed. And I'm sure a lot of people are just waiting for it to rally to close, right, to sell. So there's this greater fool theory of who's going to be the last one to buy at 10,000 or at 8,000 or whatever it gets to. People have to continue to buy at those bigger and bigger numbers when you sell them. So that requires more and more investors to get encouraged into that market, and for it to become a bit more real. So that's but I'm by no means an expert, and I'm by the very fact that I'm surprised that being at 3,000 means that I'm one of the outside laymen who are looking in going, what is this Bitcoin? That's literally where we're one of those guys, right? So it's like, maybe we don't know the true value, and perhaps it will end at 100,000, and then it'd be like, well, we missed that, the digital currency revolution. oh, it's all Fugazi, but everyone has to keep working big short. Let's not get into the philosophy of money. You know, what is money? Why it's got value? You know, literally we're one, you know, society revolution away. Imagine if everyone just turned their back on money in some sort of futuristic, you know, next generation teenage rebellion, stopped using money, and then all of a sudden it's there's this crisis going on. Yeah, money isn't real either. It's a perceived value as well. I mean, gold, I suppose, is the closest thing you've got to something which has rarity and has sort of that value that you can hold. But even that, it's not exactly freely traded, and it's hard to move a lot of it. Yeah, it's hard to move a lot of it. So it's yeah, no, it's a funny world. It's a funny world. No doubt all currencies will be digital in the future, though, in some form. US dollars as well. Cash will be something of a relic. Yeah. But yeah, apart from that little side note, what's going on in the markets here? Dollar yen fell a little bit when Nikkei broke 20,000. Okay, so literally nothing in it. Just broke 20,000, caused a fall 20 pips. Aussie data was slightly stronger, the business confidence numbers, but the trade balance was a little bit hit and miss from China. But the market definitely wasn't reacting too much to that. It's grinding higher. So the one trade that we do have open is the same trade from last week, and that's the long Aussie Kiwi. The reason we're in that trade is for the RBNZ to come out dovish. Now I'm in two minds about whether I'm going to close this. It depends on how high we get. If we get close to 108.40, 108.50 into that announcement, before that announcement, I'll be closing, because I don't want to be short Kiwi into the RBNZ where the bar is so negative and everyone's expecting it to be negative, and therefore the risk in this trade is that they're not so negative. Now there's a shadow board for the RBNZ that come out and they talk about what they would do, and they weren't dovish enough to get a fall in the Kiwi. If the real board is as normal as the shadow board, you know, then you won't get that selling. You need heavy jaw boning. Even now, you need pretty aggressive jaw boning to keep the Kiwi under bay. And if it falls further, then the risk is skewed to the top side, guys. And RBNZ is really bad at keeping market expectations. It's almost like they go out of their way to piss off traders, actually. So I'm yeah, definitely a little cautious about where the Aussie Kiwi is coming into that announcement on Thursday morning, and I'll probably be, you know, anything above 108 I'll probably be closing out. See if there's anything to report there. Let's have a look at the Deutsche Bank spot report. Oop, that's me. That's not what we want. That's the wrong one, sir. No, Tony, you do not work for Deutsche Bank. Settle down, sir. So, everyone's starting to look forward to this US CPI number, make or break. Not a lot to discuss. Blah blah blah. It is holidays over in Europe, summer holidays, so maybe there is a little less traders going aggressive. Jackson Hole at the end of the month. Now we're going to hear this talked about a lot more. That Jackson Hole's where central banks announce big changes a lot of the time, and everyone's focused on ECB and what their Jackson Hole and maybe the FOMC, their asset purchase balance sheet adjustments, right? Those balance sheet adjustments that could be coming in Jackson Hole. Looking for consolidation in euro. Risk around political headlines out of the US probably favours selling rallies on dollar yen. Maybe. Alright. Capped rallies on the Kiwi towards 74. I mean, that's a trade we could do today if we get a rally in the Kiwi. Selling to it. Right. That's one trade you can do. How is dollar CAD faring? So dollar CAD, you remember we're in that trade last week for the squeeze. We're getting a squeeze now. Pretty decent squeeze actually. Well, I wanted to sell closer to 128, 129, get back into the trend, but I don't know. Maybe that's it. That's a fairly decent squeeze, guys. That's a nearly 300 point rally. Yeah, we have to start thinking about buying Canadian dollar against something now. That would make sense. Here we go, Bank of America. A little late to the party, boys. A little late to the party. Huh? Buy dollar CAD. Jesus Christ. Alright. Don't think you missed the first 300 points? Basically, they think the next rate hike's not coming this year, but next year. Well, that would do it. And oil, they don't think is going to go much higher. Oil is interesting, showing signs of life. Back near that $50 level. It's keeps chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. This is bullish, yeah. This consolidation is bullish. I think we are breaking topside next, not downside. But it is a hard thing to trade. Buy dollar CAD, targeting 132. Wow, wee wow. Stop at fresh lows. Okay, that's very aggressive. What sort of timeline is this on? Hey, rest of 2017. Got it. They really stepped out on a limb. I mean, they're not really stepping out on a limb. They're just like, why would you even go out there and say that stuff? Who wants to trade that? It's a huge contrarian trade that they put out. So, counting the ways the Aussie set to rise. This is Greg Gibbs. He's not too bad. He's an analyst out of Australia, APAC region. Yeah, Australian construction is pretty strong. Consumer confidence is not bad either. Inflation, this is the most important. What's his point here? Inflation in the second half might get a boost from a sizable bump in the minimum wage. Okay. Minimum wage rose 3%. Okay. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, but that's, you can't trade around that, right? You can't trade around potentially in 2 months' time or 3 months' time. You're going to get data out which is going to confirm the Aussies going higher, because that inflation data only comes out every 3 months, and we just had some. Um, yeah, look, I'm probably going to end it there, guys. I can't see any sort of clear trade here that I would even suggest to you guys to sort of get on. You have to be range trading if you're looking for trades today, and that's, you know, just range trading within the small ranges. And apart from that, I wouldn't suggest doing anything. Got a little bit of pound movement actually. Let's have a look here. Okay, keep an eye on the pound. If it seems to be holding above 130 for the last couple of days. If it wants to break down, that will definitely get some headlines. Having a go here on the pound yen support as well. Okay, Euro pound's having support, testing that fresh eye. Alright, so maybe we'll keep an eye on the pound, see if it starts to show a little bit of life. But there isn't any story out there to get there, to get that going. It's testing support right now, AHFX. Yeah, that's very important time for it. What happens in the next half an hour is extremely important. If it breaks below this, then it's probably going to keep on going. And if that happens, and you get Euro pound buying, and you get pound yen selling, and the pound can be dragged below 130, there'll be stops below 130 too, and so you can get an extension. And he's considering it's the only thing moving in the market, that might get people just watching it. But yeah, so yeah, the risks are definitely to the downside here. But you know, you're a little late to sell. You can't sell here unless you want to. Yeah, no, just don't. Not yet. See what happens. Alright guys, I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully we have something to report. In the meantime, just you don't have to trade every day. And if you're going to take a day off, it'd probably be a day like today. Because you could end up forcing a trade rather than making a good sort of considered trade. I'll keep an eye on that Aussie Kiwi, see how high it goes. And if the Kiwi has a little squeeze, then I'll be looking to sell into that. That's about the only trades I'll do. Alright guys, best of luck. Be back tomorrow.